Mr Deputy Speaker, I rise to acknowledge the outstanding work of Lifeline Harbour to Hawkesbury in my electorate of Bradfield. In recent months I've visited Lifeline Harbour to Hawkesbury, based in Gordon in my electorate, on 2 occasions, and I've visited them many times over my time as the local member. I'm very pleased that Lifeline Harbour to Hawkesbury has received over $61,000 in funding towards the centre at Gordon through various federal government grants, particularly Stronger Communities and volunteer grants, since 2016. Last weekend I joined the Prime Minister at the centre, where the Prime Minister announced an additional $52.3 million in funding for Lifeline Australia as part of the 2022 federal budget. This funding will go to support the outstanding crisis support services that Lifeline offers Australians, as it has done for the past 60 years. When combined with the support the Morrison Government is already providing to Lifeline, this brings total crisis services support by the Morrison Government to provided by the Morrison Government to $114.2 million over the next 4 years. Mr Deputy Speaker, on this visit and on previous visits to the centre, I've had the opportunity to meet a number of the dedicated staff and volunteers and to learn more about the great work that they do. This work includes suicide prevention services with a focus on helping pull Australians who may be thinking of suicide away from the edge when they're facing really tough times. I've learned about the help services they provide for Australians who are struggling with gambling and the financial distress that can result from people who become addicted to gambling. I want to express my thanks to those who were at the event on Saturday, including Wendy Carver, the CEO of Lifeline Harbour to Hawkesbury, Mr John Brogden, the patron of Lifeline Australia, Mr Colin Seary, the Chief Executive of Lifeline Australia, Ms Angela Dodd, the Chief Financial Officer, Lifeline Harbour to Hawkesbury, Ms Julie Wicks, Chief Operating Officer, and Carolyn McGrory, Supervisor of the call centre at Lifeline Harbour to Hawkesbury. But in particular, I also want to acknowledge all of the dedicated volunteers at Lifeline Harbour to Hawkesbury. Those I've met on recent visits include Ms Michelle McCullum, Mr Dominic Broden and Ms Brenda Barber, and I've met a number over the years. I do particularly want to acknowledge my constituents in Bradfield who volunteer at Lifeline Harbour to Hawkesbury, and I say to all Australians, if you are in need, you need to talk to somebody, if you're struggling, call Lifeline 131114.